Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawahshi, Rawchaa Qadash. Just the brother Bakalawalum here with another hopeful edifying lesson to the elect body of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawahshi. I got a not too long of a video or a clip that I put together. Your current commander in chief is speaking on the actions of NATO and how they're conducting themselves that more or less he disapprove of, and he's going to go into how he feels, how he feel NATO should have responded and compared to how they actually did. And then I got another clip here that says the um the Greenland thing. Well, they said that NATO will be prepared to go, maybe preparing to go to war against America, right? So these two videos basically are manifestations or prophecy manifesting itself, right? That the 10 horns shall hate the whore, and your what is it? The Confederacy have deceived thee, or something to that effect. That laid a wound under thee, right? So I'm gonna grab them two scriptures after I play this video. So here it is. Nobody's a match for the United States, but they're not a match for the United States. It's small the United States, but they're not a match for the United States. It's small potatoes. That's why I'm so disappointed in NATO, because this was a test for NATO. This was a test. You can help us. You don't have to, but if you don't have it, if you don't do that, we're going to remember. Just remember this in a number of months from now. Remember my statements. They have an expression, a great expression. Never forget. Never forget.
You've been really honest about how disappointed you are in Sakir's stance, particularly in relation to Iran. So I'm curious about your phone calls with him, how easy they might be. And also, were you surprised by...
Are we talking about Starmer?
Yes. Are you surprised by how...
I think he's a lovely man. I do. I think he's a lovely man, but I think he did something that was shocking. He didn't want to help us. And maybe in particular that country, the longest bond, the longest ally. Australia too. Australia was not great. I was a little surprised by Australia. I wouldn't say anybody was great, other than the 5 countries in the Middle East. We never really had very much support. We spend trillions of dollars supporting countries, and this is Little League. This isn't the big league deal. This is sort of Little League ball for us. This was like we decimated them in a period of a week. In the first week, it was over. In the first few days, it was over. I think the Navy took us 3 days to essentially annihilate it. They weren't there. So if there's ever a big one, which I hope there's not, but if there's ever a big one, I don't think they're going to be there. And that's not fair. And we have to remember that as a country, because we spend trillions of dollars protecting Europe, protecting the countries of NATO. They weren't there for us. So Trump saying that NATO wasn't there for them, and this wasn't more or less a major issue. It wasn't a big one, and if they had a big one, and you know what it means, a big war, basically the third woe, which that's what's happening, right? That's what the Lord is doing, gathering these nations, these heathens, Gentile nations together for the big one. If we ever have a big one, he said he's talking about a big war, a major war, which is the third woe, right? He said he don't think they'll be there with him, and that's true. NATO is not going to be on the side of Babylon the Great in its third woe, which with your current commander in chief, he's correct on that, right?
let me see. We're gonna get back to that because I think it's this is let me see. Obadiah 1:3. It says, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the cleft of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground." You know, Trump was like, what he said at the beginning about America. Nobody's nobody's a match for America, basically, right? That's not what I can't remember what he actually said, but this was 2 minutes and 1 second in. All right, I'm gonna just go back.
Nobody's a match for the United States, but they're not a match for the United States.
So he said no one's a match for the United States, right? So that's how Trump feels. He says no one's a match for the United States. You know, basically, you know, he basically saying that America can handle themselves, Babylon can handle themselves. They really don't need no help from anyone. But he did ask for help, and they just didn't respond according to how he wanted. I know I made a video on this earlier, like a few days back, but through the spirit, I guess, you know, through the spirit, Yahawah wanted me to do another one pertaining to this topic again, because it says, like Trump said, no one's a match for the America, the hammer of the whole earth, right? Which is Babylon. That's in Jeremiah chapter 50, the hammer of the whole earth, which is America. No one's a match for the United States, right? That great whore who could make war with her, right? That's what it says in Revelations. War with the beast, right? Let me see. Yeah, he says, Revelations 13:4 says, "And they worship the dragon who gave power to the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him?" Right? So the head of this beast is America, Babylon the Great, right? And it's also the beast sister. That beast is NATO also. But you know, the head of this beast, or the top, which is this harlot, is Babylon the Great, America. So that's how prideful America is. They don't think anyone, you know, they don't need anyone, not even NATO. And like Trump said, he said he don't think if they have a big one, he meaning a big war, they wouldn't be there for them. And that's correct. They're not gonna be there to aid Babylon the Great. They're gonna help shoot missiles on this place, along with Russia, China, and the rest of these countries, right? This is Obadiah verse 3 again. It says, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle," right? "And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahawah." Right? So Babylon is fallen. It's in a fallen state, and it's obvious now that it's in this fallen state. Babylon is fallen. It says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? would they not have stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers came unto thee, would they not leave some grapes? Right? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Right? So going back to verse 5, Esau steals everything. He takes everything, right? He's not leaving nothing behind. Right? He's taking it all. It's like even these other countries, he wanted it all. He was saying something to NATO to some to a certain to a certain degree, like if you want oil, just take Iran's oil. Like this devil takes it all, man. What he say about Cuba? I just want to take. I could just take it. Esau wants it all, man. He wants you. He wants your land. He wants everything that you own. He wants everything. He takes it all, man. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Verse 7, which is the point. He says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in them. Right? So that wound that they laid under them is these missiles, ICBM missiles, to be specific. These are intercontinental ballistic missiles, nuclear ballistic missiles, intercontinental nuclear missiles, ICBM, right? These nuclear missiles, they're gonna be shot by NATO or the AU on America, right? Because this is a build up to how America has been treating, the EU, NATO. They're prideful. They're spying on each other. Even going back, from my recollection from the Obama administration and the Joe Biden one just passed. They had accounts of America espionage or spying on European Union members, right? So all of them are spying on each other. So more or less, that's what they're doing, and and several other things, man. It's just more or less as a build up, and everybody see the pride of Esau of America. These Americans in Babylon, and it's not looking too well. That pride has deceived them, and like Trump saying that they don't even need NATO, but if a big one happens, he don't think they'll be there for them, and they're not. They have deceived thee, right? And they have laid a wound under thee, right? That wound is those ICBM missiles, and they're gonna shoot them on Babylon the Great. To prove that this is on Revelations. What is it? Ten horns shall hate the whore. This is Revelation chapter 17 and 12. It says, Revelation chapter 17 verse 12. It says, the 10 horns which thou sawest are the 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Right? NATO. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. It's verse 16. The point is in, right? It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire, right? So they have deceived the whore Babylon the Great, and they're going to burn them with fire, help her burn them with fire. Verse 17 says, for the Most High, Yahawah, Yahawahshi, had put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawahshi, shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is the great city, is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. America, Babylon the Great. Right?
They weren't there for us. For small time. This is small time. You know what? Venezuela's a big deal, but it's not the big one. They weren't there. So what makes you think they'd be there if we needed them for something? And your prime minister was not there, as you know. He was there after we won. He said, we'd like to send some ships. I said, we already won. We don't need them anymore.
Can you explain why he was reluctant to help?
Why you what?
Why he was reluctant to help with Iraq?
He didn't have to. I didn't ask him. I just said, just tell me, you know. I mean, we're always going to be there. At least we were. I don't know about anymore, to be honest with you. I have to be honest. We were always there when they needed help. We always would have been there when they needed help. I mean, think of it. We're there to protect Europe from Russia. In theory, it doesn't affect us. We have an ocean, big, fat, beautiful ocean.
Sort of unbelievably dramatic news. News that's like, if you were pitching a movie, the people you were pitching it to would say, no, that's too over the top. We can't do that.
I want to go back and read that subtitle. It says,
in theory, it doesn't affect us. We have an ocean, big, fat, beautiful ocean.
It says a U.S. ally prepares to defend itself against the United States. So an ally is preparing to defend itself against the United States. And I think it's talking about Greenland. Right? It's talking about Greenland here.
Sort of unbelievably dramatic news. News that's like, if you were pitching a movie, the people you were pitching it to would say, no, that's too over the top. We can't do that. Denmark reportedly sent soldiers just a few weeks ago. They sent soldiers to Greenland armed with explosives and blood supplies. The explosives were to blow up the runways at airports in Greenland, and the blood supplies were in anticipation of combat casualties in a conflict with the United States. That is, if the U.S. could find a way to put U.S. troops on the ground in Greenland without landing on the blown-up airfields. Think about that for a second. I mean, Denmark, it's freaking Denmark. They are literally and officially our ally, but they had to send troops out with live ammunition and blood supplies and live explosives, not for an exercise, not for training, but on a real deployment on which they planned to disable the airfields in Greenland to protect their territory against us, against the United States. You may also recall that Denmark is in NATO. So if Trump actually does try to use military force to take Greenland, we will be at war with all of NATO. But now I guess we know how it would start.
So there you have it. You know, if they want to take Greenland, they're gonna be at war with all NATO. The pride of Esau, the Edomites here in Babylon. Is basically, everyone is basically coming against this place, man. These Edomites here in Babylon is being seen for what they really are. They are very prideful, like it says in Obadiah. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. They think they're better than everyone. They don't give any respect, more or less, to these um, other their other allies. NATO, the EU, more or less is America priority, so to speak, over them. But we know who's the head of this priority, the Izzy State, which is that's besides the fact, right? Along with these other nations, like the scripture says also in Jeremiah 49 and Obadiah, that you're greatly despised. I made ye small among men, and you're greatly despised even by these other nations. Esau is despised, right? This is on Obadiah verse 2. It says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised," right? So these Edomites in America are greatly despised by these heathens, even among these other Edomites of the European Union, right? They're despised, and you see that they're having ideas of taking Greenland or Denmark. Denmark said they're gonna be battle ready if that it happens, and Denmark is a a part of NATO, and basically that will make America and NATO at war with each other if it comes to like Trump saying I won't want to take Denmark, like he said he's going to take Cuba, like you seen he's already taken. They're trying to take over Iran like they did Venezuela. So that's the pride in Esau and these Edomites over here in America, Babylon the Great, and they're very greatly despised among men. So that was some of the video that these other nations, Salakia, these NATO nations, European Union nations, are going to help shoot missiles on this place, America, which I'm just uh, just read this verse again, and that should be it, right? This is Revelation 17 and 16. It says, "In the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For the Most High, Yahawah bahasham Yahawahshi, has put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High, Yahawah bahasham Yahawahshi, shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth," right? So America is the head of NATO, right? And they reign over the earth. That's why the petrodollar is the top dominant world currency at one point of time, which is in a fallen state. That's why you got the BRICS nations and all that forming, and they're trying to come up with other ways and strategies to trade without using the petrodollar. So yeah, all these NATO nations, they lay the wound under. They have deceived Babylon the Great, and they're gonna shoot missiles on that according to prophecy. And you can see the buildup. They're being despised, right? And these other NATO nations see how prideful America is, and more or less they're not they're not with they're not with America, man. They're not in actuality they're not with this America, because they see what's going on. They're just starting wars without any you know without informing or discussing with them what's really going on, and basically that's the reason why they didn't want to joined initially, because they said that America basically and the Izzy State started this war with Iran, and they didn't want any parts of it, but we're gonna see how it plays out. But we already know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna see how the cards are gonna lay out, how the Lord's gonna lay the cards out. So I'm gonna end it off right there. Who's edifying to the elect. I'm gonna say call Halayimlah, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawahshi, bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. Shalom till the next time, Yahawah, Rawchaa, which means Lord willing, and why, bye, ball.